Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Pod Fruit One Piece Through New Eyes. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Volume 23, titled Vivi's Adventure. Volume 23 covers chapters 206 through 216. I am the host, Michael, and with me, as always, we have our One Piece rookies, V and Dylan.
Hello, hello.
Konnichiwa.
He's learning Japanese, y'all.
Si.
Couple of quick announcements. I'm sure you're anxiously wondering, where's episode 23? Well, fear not. Episode 23 is, or do fear, maybe.
Fear,
it's lost.
Fear is probably the appropriate response.
Fear do fear.
Yeah. Don't
fear
worry,
now.
but it's ruined.
Yeah. Due to some blunders on my part, I have lost my part of the track. We still have V and Dylan's portions, and we've discussed how to make this work, and I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to just do a little one-off live stream, kind of recapping Volume 22. If I said 23, I didn't mean to say the right number. And yeah, we'll get together on Twitch, and we'll just kind of go over some of our thoughts, and we'll review some of our reactions and stuff. Is it the ideal way we wanted to release this episode? No. Are we going to try to have a ton of fun with it? Yeah, absolutely. So definitely check that out. Date TBD, because this is our last episode before we go on Christmas break. I have a vacation coming up in the new year, so we're going to be a little extended. We probably won't be back until the middle of January. Middle of January, so we're taking a little bit of a extended break, but some much needed rest. We do all work full-time jobs here, so it's nice to have this time off and get to enjoy fun stuff that comes with the holiday season. Finally, a quick reminder that our live stream Alabasta recap is also coming up. Mm-hmm. That will be our first event. That's going to be our first thing when we come back. We're going to recap the Alabasta saga, and we're going to do that live on Twitch. We did this for the East Blue. It was a ton of fun. Date, again, to be determined, but definitely follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Discord to keep the dates.
I'm excited to see the different panels that people chose. That was one of my favorite parts. I'm
excited to bring all of our friends in. We bring in a couple friends and...
We have all other friends other than just each other.
Are you telling me I know more people than you?
Yeah, you do. We are, in fact, not the only two people you know on this planet.
What is friend?
They raised me, actually. They found me in the woods as a 30-year-old man.
Worst mistake of our lives.
Oh,
kept saying, let's just throw him back.
Kind of like Gaimon in his island and his treasure.
Definitely check that out. And yeah, just kind of repeating myself a little bit here, but a quick reminder to join us on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord for all our latest announcements, information, and fun. On Twitter, we are at PodFruit. Instagram, it's PodFruit. And our Discord is linked in the description. We would also love if you gave us a follow and a review. Let us know what you like or what you don't. We love feedback. So, do you guys have anything to add to that super spiel?
No, I feel like you covered all of the big spiel points.
I don't think I missed anything. Yeah. I did great.
You did great. You did great.
With that, let's begin. Volume 23. In the climax of the Alabasta arc, Luffy continues his fierce battle against Crocodile, ultimately defeating him after a desperate struggle. Vivi reaches the clock tower and stops a deadly bomb with the help of Pell, who sacrifices himself to save the city. As rain falls across Alabasta, Vivi's heartfelt pleas for peace finally end the civil war. While the Straw Hat pirates recover in the capital, the Navy, led by Smoker and Hina, encircle the island to prevent the Straw Hats' escape. With the help of once enemy turned friend, Mr. 2, aka Bon Clay, the Straw Hats are able to avoid the Navy. They bid their emotional farewells to Vivi as they move on to their next adventure. And that is my summary for Volume 23. 206 will be V.
Yeah, 206 is me. Okay. Speaking of Hachi, intro image story here. Hachi is ready to kick some ass to defend the mermaid. He is indeed...
Which he turned her over, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I think so.
I lost the plot a little bit.
No, it's not so much he turned her over. It's like he talked to him like, oh yeah, it's old shipmates. We're good. No problems here.
Yeah. Anyway, he's ready to go defend her, and he is indeed our unlikely hero. Page 2. I found it pretty comical that the most suspicious looking motherfucker in the universe be like, us working for Baroque Works? No, never. Like, he looks as if he was designed specifically to be an infiltrator.
Doesn't help that all the clothes he's wearing is branded with Baroque
with
words.
BW?
It's like,
that stands for
Baroque on the back.
It's Burger Wing.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
I love that
Buffalo
place.
Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild.
I love that place.
Meanwhile, Tashigi is like, ain't nobody got time for that. And I cannot help but appreciate the character development, which, as we go forward through this volume, Tashigi goes through a lot, actually. Looking forward to getting to the meat of that. I really liked the shot of the cannon at page 4.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Me
that
too.
I liked the level of detail that was given. I like that we see the Jolly Roger on it. I like that we kind of see some of its like mechanical components, how it's made, like where
The wood grain?
the wood grain, all that. Like it was nice and
Jesus,
detailed.
yeah.
Like where the bolts are or whatever. Like it was. I was impressed by the level of detail that was given there.
To imagine the editor's like, Oda, you
Calm down. You didn't have to go that hard.
The animator's like, you really want us to put that in the anime? Are you fucking
And he's
serious?
like, yes.
You know how long that's going to take? He's like, I did it in a week. Shut up.
Do better.
yeah.
I like the way we're sort of eased back into the Crocodile versus Luffy fight. The top panels of Mr. 7 and Miss Father's Day kind of establishes where we're at in terms of time that's left. We see the ongoing battle in the middle plan, and the bottom of the page shows us falling rocks. Cobra, Miss All Sunday, and finally Crocodile are there. Just a really good transition page to get us back to where we're going. And at page 6, we are back in the fight in earnest. I don't have a whole lot of notes here other than we get a couple pages of nice and dynamic action shots as they continue to fight. I did want to give a special shout out to the Gum Gum Gatling gun at page 8. There's a lot of fisting going on. We are back to the square then. Later on, as we're gearing up for ignition, and it seems like Nami has an idea. Now, I had a question for you guys. Is the Cyclone Tempo the attack that she used to bring down Miss Doublefinger?
I think it was part of a combination of things she did to take down.
Because I was thinking that it would be a bit funny that Usopp would say that that was the one that was meant for parties, when it's actually the one attack that worked. You know, just the irony would have been funny, but yeah, I'm not sure. I would need to double check that. Bottom of page 11, the Batam seems to get awfully close to his crotch. That would have hella hurt. I think it just missed it though.
He's crying.
Yeah, I don't know, out of fear or out of...
Look at where those things went. He got double tapped. No, he got triple tapped. He got hit in the nuts, the taint, and the asshole. Like, there's a reason to I get it. This is one of the times in One Piece we're crying. I understand.
For once. So, yeah, Nami uses the Cyclone Tempo to propel Usopp, Chopper, and Vivi up the tower. I thought that was clever. I gotta say, always love to see the Straw Hats working together. Nami and Sanji seem to be kind of on the same page. They're like communicating. They're like, I'm picking up exactly what you're putting down. And I like when...
Yeah, there's no communication. It's just...
They just know.
Visual cues. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. That coordination results in a really neat panel on the left side of page 13 of Sanji, Chopper, and Vivi in midair. I thought that was just really cool as Sanji tells Chopper to get on his leg. They get propelled even further, and we see Sanji pushing them upwards towards Zoro with a kick at the top of page 14. Also, just a nice continuation of the previous panel. I had a pretty good chuckle at seeing Usopp at the bottom right of page 14. Like, he just the very, very bottom of the page where he's like standing crooked on his neck with the legs up, and he's looking rough.
Smoke coming off his feet.
Yeah, exactly. This is reminding me of the old people dying in Midsummer.
Oh my god.
You remember?
God, that got dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one thing I learned from that movie, never jump feet first in that scenario.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to. Anyway, And then, yeah, Zoro helps them up even more using the back of his blade, and soon enough, Chopper and Vivi are almost at the top, but they get spotted by Mr. 7 and Miss Father's Day. I really liked the kind of the perspective shot at page 16, middle of page 16, because we see them like peering down the edge. We see it from like bird's eye view from over Mr. 7, Miss Father's Day, and I thought that was just visually interesting. We get more into Crocodile's callousness also, as we're kind of back to that encounter at page 17, but Luffy is really quick to retort by stating at the top of page 18, I don't want Vivi to die because she's my friend. And I thought that was a really good close-up for a good moment of love and friendship that made me happy. And the very bottom of the page kind of drives the point even more to me, as Crocodile asks, even at the cost of your own lives? And Luffy replies, if we die, we die.
I like that a lot.
That was good pacing, that was good writing, and the sentiment in and of itself is very heartfelt. And we get a really good end to the chapter. Things are tense, time is running out, and Vivi's life is in danger, but Zoro has a plan and tells Chopper that he'll launch him to them and leave things up to Chopper. Chopper looks shocked, to say the least, when he says, me? Yes, you. But I believe in him. He's proven himself worthy of being a Straw Hat, and I'm looking forward to seeing him as an even more active role now, which we will see happen. And that's what I had for 206. Dylan?
Yeah, sir. The Hachi thing's funny because, again, it's still giving, like, old school Looney Tunes vibes, like Popeye the Sailor Man thing. Like, all that kind of shit. You still got that fucking freakazoid with the fucking stare over the other guy's shoulder. Ugh. But again, the Baroque works. Like, Baroque works, never heard of it. It's like, then why is it tattooed on your fucking forehead?
Right?
Jesus, subtlety, man. I thought you were supposed to be secret agents. You're fucking runner. It's like Archer. It's like the world's greatest secret agent. What's the point of telling people that? It's like, what's the point of not?
What's good with this title if I can't use it?
How else are people going to be impressed by me? But I do like the kind of the Kurosawa vibes of the you see Tashigi after the fact, the sword drawn, blood flying, enemies falling. And it seems like that one on the left has an arquebus. Fun stuff.
I don't know what that means.
Arquebus is pretty much like the first rifle.
Oh.
I might be pronouncing it wrong. It might be arquebus, but whatever. I don't like the kind of the call to her men does show that growth. And it's like Sergeant Tashigi, it's like, why are you hesitating? There's no time to wait for proof. Just act. It's like, okay, Tashigi, you're usually the one that's like, I can't see anything without my glasses.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just noticing that bottom panel of page 2, there's a guy wearing a shirt that says Baroque, I Heart Miss Valentine.
Yeah.
Like you have little fan clubs?
That's actually mentioned in one of the SBSs. It's like the Billions, actually, they are fan clubs towards some of the upper officers, whereas others
they
just
could
see
have,
it as rivals.
Conventions.
Yeah. The secret organization and their massive convention.
Yeah, the massive con they throw every year.
The hotel is closed for that convention. A convention of what? I can't tell you. It's super secret.
It's a secret. Meanwhile, in the Las Vegas Dome, Baroque works. The perspective shot at the bottom of 3, just like, again, kind of like how we were getting all last volume, the clock tower gets focused back in on, and now we see it again, the face is open, the cannon's in it. Mm-hmm. And then we get to see the 2 people that were introduced last time. Don't like their design. No.
Hate them.
Yeah, and the name Miss Father's Day is ironic, considering the way she's dressed. It's like, you got daddy problems. It's like, I can tell you got daddy problems like a motherfucker. And then, well, I mean, Mr. 7, I don't like him, but he is super goofy looking, which I guess I do kind of like, but as an enemy, it's like, fuck you, dude, get out of the way. Like, don't make me beat you up. I don't want to.
It's not dissimilar to Igaram's design, just with the poofy hair. It's different, but it has some similarities.
I do like the middle of 5, kind of another perspective shot to let you understand the underlying circumstances that are going on. It's like, no, this civil war is still in full pitch in the middle of the city. I would say with the bit of the Crocodile Luffy fight we see, which I kind of like the way it brought it back. It's like, what don't I get? Because I think that's how the last chapter, or the last volume ended.
Yeah, it was like, don't you get it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole fight scene, it's like showing Crocodile as being kind of on the back foot the whole time. Because Luffy rushes, he's surprised, he's grunting with exertion, trying to get away from his hits. And then I just loves the middle of 8, seeing the Gum Gum Gatling. The way he drew that out, I really, really enjoy that. I love how he does the thing. He's like, don't you get it? You're going to die from that poison soon. It's like, bro, like, Luffy don't care. Like, he's going to fight you to the second he dies, so you need to stop, like, monologuing and get serious.
Now that we think about it, like, the poison is only ever used as a threat, but we don't actually see it do anything?
Apparently he gets, like, slowed down or, you know, he looks a little rougher.
But it's very minimal. Like, I feel like because it's stated as being that such a threatening thing, I feel like I would have liked it to show more. Does that make sense? Because it feels like it was an empty threat. Yeah. Like, maybe it made his recovery longer, but we have no real concept of how... like, what its effect really was.
It's like, oh, I'm not poisoned. I'm just confused. So every now and then I'm going to miss an attack. But that's not too bad. That makes me wonder is, maybe is one of the side effects of the devil fruit is, like, poisons and stuff don't work as effectively on you.
I'm rubber. You're poison.
Yeah. And it's like, well, the thought of it's like, okay, that could make sense. And Crocodile just wouldn't understand because, I mean, he probably doesn't fight devil fruit users a lot. Because he's always worked from the shadows, so he's just probably just killing people without him ever having a chance to fight back.
Although he is one of the 7 warlords.
Yeah.
It could be presumed that at once upon a time.
And the Nami's just slapstick plan of launching everyone and just, like, seeing the cohesion of the Straw Hats in general, where it's like, words don't need to be said. I mean, Usopp's confused, but it's Usopp, so. But everyone else is instantly like, oh, I get it. And Vivi's kind of like, wait, what? What are we supposed to be doing? And everyone's like, just go. Just do it. Like, stay in Chopper's back. We got this. And it's funny for the wounds they've received. Like, Usopp didn't really get a choice. He was kind of thrust into the scenario.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like Sanji is openly admitted to have broken several bones, is just willing to jump off of, like, he's probably like 6-7 stories up. And then after that, Zolo right afterward, he's been almost cut in half yet again. And he's willing to jump from like 12 stories up. It's like, what? It's like, guys, self-preservation, please.
Well, and as we see later on, it does take them all a while to recover. So...
And I kind of like when Zolo's throwing, they're still doing the countdown in the background in that panel. Because it's like jump on the back of the blade, and it's like, be careful, there's weirdos up there, and then you still hear 9, because they're still counting it down. I liked that. And the looking down the edge perspective, it's just fucks with me a little bit, because I don't like heights. Like, I've been to the top of the Empire State Building, and it's like, I'm not looking over the edge, because I'm going to get so fucking dizzy.
I don't like heights either, especially not extreme ones.
Yeah, small heights isn't bad, but like, yeah, being...
Like, it makes me feel like I'm just going to jump.
Yeah. It's like, I could do it. I'm going to do it.
No, you can't. Don't let the intrusive... don't let the intrusive thoughts win. Don't do it.
But I almost want to just, like, get down on my hands and knees and, like, crawl away.
Yeah, because you're afraid you're just going to, like, slip on a banana peel and go launching off the edge.
And then puke a little while you're crawling away because you're so fucking scared. I can't.
And it wasn't the Empire State, it was the Rockefeller Center. The thing that fucked me up the most is going up the elevator to the top. Because they have an elevator that just directly takes you to the top.
I've been there, too.
Yeah, and it's just like the thought of it, it's like, oh, God. Even looking up at tall buildings sometimes can make me really dizzy.
Yeah, same.
For any fellow Canadians out there, maybe, I have been up the CN Tower in Toronto, and that is one of the highest structures in Canada. And it has like
Isn't that one of the tallest in the world?
I think it is, yeah, it might be. But it has like a section that's glass floor, so you can walk on the glass over. Yeah, I did that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna puke. But it was also really, really fun. But yeah, CN Tower, one of the tallest ones anyway.
Yeah, but 17, fucking Crocodile is basically giving the monologue of every villain. It's like, oh, your allies are only meant to be used until they're no longer useful, and then you just throw them away. Partnerships mean nothing.
He does a lot of villain monologuing, to be honest. I mean, some of it is good, and some of them is like, yeah, okay, we know.
So he's saying, like, he's doing the whole thing. It's like, oh, friendship is weakness, when it's like, Luffy's like, no, like, friendship is actually what makes us stronger. We fight harder because we care for those who we fight for, but you just fight for yourself. So if you're starting to get beaten down and out, you'll turn tail and run, whereas we're going to stick our ground. It's like, okay. Top of the left of 19, Mr. 7, does look super duper menacing in that panel. It's like, normally you're like super goofy looking, but it's like, that's kind of like, oh shit, I don't like that face pointing a gun at me.
About the wig and the frills. Are those frills?
Yeah.
Is that what that would be called?
I think it's his face specifically. Like, his face is drawn in a kind of...
super sharp angles.
Right, his face, but everything else takes away from it.
Yeah.
And then the chapter ends pretty much there, and it's like super suspenseful. It's like there's only seconds left. Guns are aimed at him. It's like, what's going to happen? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Let me see, SBS. Oh yeah, it's this SBS.
Oh, they answer it right away.
If it was someone's like, oh, why did the person have I Love Miss Valentine? That's my favorite character. You're like, am I in competition? It's like, oh, well, no, there's so many of them that, like, some view the higher officers where it's just, like, an obstacle to overcome, where others are like, oh, no, these are the bosses. Hell yeah. No, Mr. 4 is my favorite. No, Mr. 3's the best. No, Mr. 3's a fucking weirdo. But yeah, that's all I got.
I may be a little bit more critical over some of the opening chapters of this volume, and of course we'll get into it, but I do just want to put that disclaimer out there. However, I promise I'll bring it back because there's some good stuff in here. So, it opens great. I love the little 2 pages of Tashigi and the Marines that we get.
Yeah.
But, yeah, her just taking the initiative, cutting down Baroque Works agents, not giving them any kind of due process here or whatever their version of that is really interesting and cool character moment from her. And you get to see her, actually cutting people down. Very, very good. Overall, and I'm not crazy about the subplot here with the bomb. I mean, at this point, what I want to see is Luffy and Crocodile. And maybe someone would say that you can't have your pudding until you eat your meat. But I don't know. Maybe some of this could have either been shortened or possibly removed entirely. I know at some point we'll get a very emotional payoff, but getting there felt a little tedious for me. Their plan of getting Vivi up there was fine. It's a nice way to show them working together, their teamwork. But it felt to me like it was just something for them to do.
I think what I've identified as being the pain point there is I feel like the involvement of 2 other Baroque Works agent wasn't sufficient. Like, just having the bomb be on a timer was tension enough that they didn't need to add the layer of the Baroque Works agents on top of that. Like, that was
it's
the
a
part.
little self-indulgent.
Right, and it's like, well, it's okay. We've seen plenty of other Baroque Works agents. We don't need to put those there. So maybe it was just belaboring the point and making it longer than it needed to be.
They could have made it like 10 billion.
Whereas if it was just, it's on a timer, and then get the whole Pell thing to come later on because of the timer would have been enough. They could have cut Mr. 7 and Miss Father's Day entirely, and it wouldn't have really changed anything.
Quick question. Isn't Mr. Well, obviously not this Mr. 7, but wasn't Mr. 7 the one sent to recruit Zolo, who he killed?
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, in our last episode. It
was a lost episode. It's also the last. Goodbye, viewers, forever.
We lost the last one, so the one before that's actually the last one.
But yeah, I think that's the part that felt tedious and unnecessary to me, was we didn't need those agents there.
It could have been a couple henchmen, and they just Chopper wipes them out real quick.
Even then, not even, just the timer itself to me was enough, so.
Yeah.
It could have cut back a little bit of monologuing, too. It's like, he's made his point.
Yeah, right. Exactly, and I'm about to touch on that. So, and again, I said the thing that I want to see the most right now is Crocodile and Luffy. And I felt like in this chapter, even some of that felt like it was kind of sidelined to the bomb plot, which I'm not, again, crazy about. It was some good action, but it was broken up by the stuff that I don't care about, so I felt like that kind of took a little bit away from it. And V, you kind of touched on this, the monologuing. Crocodile's not saying anything here that we haven't heard him say multiple times. It's good, it's not bad, but it's a little back and forth to 2 things. One wasn't up to where I wanted to see, and the other is just not something I really want to see much at all. Overall, this chapter fell flat for me. Even at its peak, the tension didn't grip me. The art was all right. I wouldn't say any panels in this really blew me away. And yeah, I suppose I do like the canon on page 4, if we're talking art. That's a very well-drawn canon. We won't dig too much deeper on that. We've already touched on it. But yeah, it was all right. 207's Dylan.
You got it. We open up to Hachi's old homies. I kind of like the boat. The whole paddle wheeler.
I like the boat too.
Fucking station wagon looking motherfucker.
I noted that as well, yeah.
Although it's kind of like, why do you have a water tank on the back? Like, because, you're on the ocean.
We're transporting mermaids.
Oh, yeah, but you're already on the ocean. Why not just have a tank in the boat that's like below the water?
That's fair.
Just a then net.
If it springs the leak, oh wait, no it doesn't because it's already underwater.
No, it doesn't.
And then we cut in, and Luffy has collapsed to his knees. Crocodile again. I like the way he's drawn. Like, the amount of, absolute mirth on his face when he thinks he's close to victory. Is very interesting to see since he's been so monotonous.
Take a shot every time Crocodile thinks he's won.
I don't think we're ready for that one. And again, he also brings up the poison again. It's like, remember that poison I talked about 2 chapters ago? And the chapter before that, and the chapter before that? We're a little slower now, huh? Yeah.
Kind of hurts, doesn't
I don't feel too good.
I feel like that is unnecessary. He could just be getting weaker because they've been fighting for a long time. Like,
It's like, you feel that mild annoyance? Yeah, that was me. But then Luffy does, like, the next page, the top right. Like, Luffy is looking like he's really, really fucking going through it. The way Crocodile's drawn is, I want to say, adds a little bit of depth to his character. Because he's so reserved and controlled, and it's like now he's just willing to let himself be unhinged and all of his emotions on his sleeve.
Oh, yeah, the crazy laugh.
And of course, monologue, blah, 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 friends are useless, you've lost, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 you're no match for me, blah, blah, blah.
Word of the sea, blah, 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 you're an upstart, blah, 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 blah. All right. On page 4, the first 2 panels kind of show, like, the burning of the fuse. That's a fun way to be like, oh shit, we are out of time.
I know that too.
I hate the panel where it's like, ribbit he. It's like, ugh, God. Stop. I know you're wearing a fucking frog costume, but stop. Stop it. Get some help. Lady Smash is the name of their move. Not gonna deal.
It's like, moving on.
Not gonna deal. I do find it kind of funny that the frog bullet's kind of dumb, but I love that Mr. Simmons is a die. It's a 6-sided die, which never has 7 on it, so it's like, okay, that's...
But every side adds up to 7, I think. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, actually, never mind. All of them are 7s. It's the 6 with a dot in the middle. It's like,
oh, shit,
that's
okay.
cheating. That is cheating. You can't do that. You'll get your kneecaps busted in a casino. You try pulling that shit.
Well, as soon as they see it, they're going to be like, sir, your die just rolled a 7.
It's like, when we saw you pull it out of your pocket, do you really want broken legs? You could just leave. You want to throw it on the table? All right, get the bat. And then turns out Zolo's the one who takes the brunt of the explosion. And then Sanji's reaction on 7 was like, they shot Zolo. It's like, have you not witnessed any of his fights? Like, being shot is probably the lesser of things he's been through, to be honest with you.
Also,
you ever heard of a meat grinder?
Also, this is Zoro we're talking about.
It's like, you remember Mihawk and how he almost got chopped in half after the dude sliced a galleon in 3 pieces? Yeah.
1 bullet, he should be fine.
Where'd he get hit? The shoulder? Oh, he's fine. I don't know if it's the gut. He might have some problems. And I like, again, Chopper's power is, like, very versatile. He's actually super, super versatile in combat, which I'm actually starting to really enjoy. Because they come to the apex of their jump, and he's in this big human form. And they're like, what the fuck? And shoot at him, and then he just shrinks his form, and they miss. It's like, you know what? You make a really good decoy, Chopper.
Yeah.
Oh, and that point, you see a little bit of flashback showing that it's like, before he reached that apex, he threw Vivi. So now they don't know where she is. And then, 9, she's charged up her peacock string. And I love the bottom left panels. It's just like the fucking manga anime trope of like when a bad guy gets cut out, they're like, whoa! They duck, and they're like, haha, you missed. And then she hits him with the backswing. Hell yeah. Which I dog shit on him at the first, but now actually seeing him in like an actual like real combat scenario, not a bad weapon.
Yeah, I like him.
Because before it was literally just a skip it for your pinky that had a razor blade on the edge of it. It's
like my pinky ring, dude.
It's a lot more versatile now. And then the cutout of 1 second left as she's chasing down the fuse. And then Crocodile in his moment of triumph as the chamber collapses around him. It's over. And then we're getting, as we can see, it seems like right panel of 13. It seems Pell is starting to drag himself out of some rubble. Because I believe that is Pell. Right middle panel, 13.
Yeah. I think I recognize
because the jewelry, the smock, and then like I thought it was blood at first, but that seems to be his eye makeup. And then we see a falcon flying towards the clock tower. And 16, Vivi made it just in time with her peacock string.
That was a good Vivi moment.
Yeah, but after that, I love how they follow that moment up directly with tick, 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 tick. It's like, uh-oh. Call his cannon a transformer because it's more than meets the eye. And then fucking Zolo completely eats shit, lands on his, like, upper shoulders. That's not good for your back. You probably want to go see a chiropractor, bud.
Bro, he falls, like, 60 plus feet.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you need to learn how to fall, my guy.
I mean, I don't know. You might learn all the fuck you want, but if you're falling from that high, I know that it matters that much, you know? I mean, it matters a little, but...
Any bit you can mitigate, the better.
He mitigates it all with his spine.
Yeah, spine absorbed the impact. He's fine.
Yeah. No, it's okay. My back broke the fall.
I think you got that backwards. I think the fall broke your back, my guy. I can't feel my legs. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So you're a quadriplegic now?
You know how you said you always loved sitting down? Well, guess what? I got some good news for you, buddy.
Kind of a good news, bad news.
And Sanjay, of course, is like, oh, shit, you're alive? Well, all right. And Zolo doesn't even have time to call him a piece of shit, because you know he normally would. He's like, well, screw you too, Cook. But he's like, what about the bomb? And then we cut to a Marine with a knot on his head. He's like, what the hell just fell on me? And then we see Chopper running away with the knot on his head.
Oh, it was a reindeer.
We get a Crocodile kind of like, the king's getting pissed. He's like, oh, you're a fiend. He's like, dude, you gotta understand. It's like, even if they were able to stop it, I think of every possibility. So there's a failsafe for that in place as well. So it won't kill as many people as I wanted it to, but it's going to kill a lot. And then we get the great reveal panel of Vivi screaming over the edge. The bomb is on a timer. It's going to explode anyway. And the reaction of the Straw Hats with the sound of the battle raging in the background at the same time. Very good last panel for that chapter. But that's all I got. B?
So, yes, intro image story, as Dylan noted. I like the design of the fisherman's boat. It is clever. However, the fact that it's used basically for mermaid trafficking makes me appreciate it a little bit. I mean, I wanted to say human trafficking, but are mermaids human?
We're half
Only
human.
Half of them. Yeah, so I'll say just mermaid trafficking.
Let's be careful with where we're going with this one.
We've seen the dark parts of the internet. We've seen all you people have to say about Vaporeon.
We know it makes you laugh.
Anyway,
you did this to us. We're a victim of our upbringing.
As Dylan pointed out, I feel like Crocodile does come across as a little sinister in the first few pages of the chapter. Like the way he says, if you can't beat me now, then everything you people have done was in vain. Like, ouch. I feel like this is a pretty evenly matched encounter, but there are certainly some moments where Luffy's either on top or Crocodile is taking over, and this is one of the moments where Crocodile feels like he has maybe a little bit of the upper hand. And yeah, same here. The top of page 4 I thought was really cool when we saw the fuse to the cannon was lit and on its way, and I feel like you, it was it gave me a good sense of the urgency that we're dealing with. Like, oh shit, this is gonna happen. Top of page 5, again, as you said, great panel with the perspective, like very interesting, and honestly just a cool move to have Zoro propel them with his swords. Like, I don't know, it was neat. I don't have a whole lot of detailed comments for the next few pages, but overall, I really like the fact that we were getting a visual countdown. 6 seconds to explosion, 5 seconds to explosion. That's something that we've seen earlier and in different ways in this volume, was the way that the volume would say, like, for example, it was the fights against, like, opponent, like this opponent and against this opponent, and then this is the result of the fight. Like those title panels, I think were good. Yeah, and that was that I was getting the same feeling with the countdown being visually represented. It's very effective at building tension, especially while considering the fact that while the countdown is happening, a lot of dynamic things are also happening, so it might be difficult to keep track. And so having that countdown be visually represented helped me keep track of what was going on. Zoro gets shot as if he needed more fucking trauma to his chest.
He likes it.
He likes it or V likes it?
Why can't it be both?
Chopper serves as a distraction as Vivi gets pushed even higher still and catches Mr. 7 and Miss Father's Day off guard with her peacock string slasher. And, you know, the Baroque Works agents fall as there's 1 second to spare. Just a really good, tense sequence of events. That being said, as was pointed out earlier by Michael, I don't know that it was necessary to have the Baroque Works agents there. Like, that part could have been cut off and it would be essentially the same result. So, I don't know. I don't know how relevant it really is to have those people there. But there was a choice that was made to have them be there, and they made the best of it. And, yeah, that tension that we've just built is at its peak as we see Crocodile at the top of page 12, arms open and looking upwards, saying it's over, so ready to relish in the destruction he has brought to Alabarna. And then kind of the overlap of the flashback onto scenes of the battle that's currently ongoing over pages 13, 14, and 15, to me was really good storytelling. I feel like it makes the emotion of all of that very palpable. And then, Usopp says what everyone is wondering at the bottom of page 15 when he asks, did it work?
Damn it, Usopp, just shut up. Fuck.
And then we get an answer when we see the unlit fuse. But yeah, so at the time I wasn't entirely sure that I had interpreted that correctly, but I'm reading that as if Vivi had cut the fuse with her peacock string, right? That's what happened?
That's the way I read it, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. The top of page 17 made me, I don't want to say chuckle, but it was like, Zoro lands beside Sanji and Sanji says, wait, or what, you're alive? Like, because it's true. How the fuck is he still alive?
Well, he seems like
all that happened.
It's like he's disappointed that he is still alive. It's like, Sanji,
A little bit,
he's not trying to like go after any of the women. I don't know why you keep viewing him in this competitive.
Zoro is both the least threatening to Sanji and also the most threatening because he's not trying so fucking hard. But yeah, Sanji's like, "What? You're alive?" And I thought that was funny. And then what do you mean the cannon is on a timer? I didn't expect that plot twist, and I don't know how to feel about it. Like, the thing is, I think having to deal both with the Baroque Works agents and the bomb being on a timer was too much. They should have eliminated one of those two things. Because it feels...
and it would be the Baroque Works agents if I had to choose.
Right, I would also choose the same thing because it feels like it's ridiculous at that point. Like, how many hurdles must we really face to get this over with? Like, it feels...
And then around the bomb is a pit full of sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
Exactly. It's like, oh, not again. But yeah, like... There was something very ridiculous about it being on a timer, and like part of me also felt as though it was a bit cheap to be like, psych, actually everything you just did was worthless, haha. You know, like
it can all still be worthless and still the bomb shoots off. Like, maybe they just don't get there in time. You know, I think that would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, but that was
tension.
It's a little too much, guys. I did, however, like the series of panels at page 19 when we see everyone's reaction to that realization. Like, the artwork of that part was good and expressed the emotion really well. But again, it was like, how necessary was all of this, really? Yeah, so, Michael, there's something in one of the SBSs we had talked about. The last entry of the SBS validates what you had said about Miss Golden Week some episodes ago, that she... in fact, does not have devil fruit powers and that her ability is all suggestion. I feel like that was implied before then, but now just clarified in that SBS.
If she had a devil fruit power, it would have been
announced.
Like,
right, exactly. But that really just makes that extra clear. And I was like, okay, we did talk about that. So worth mentioning. And that's what I had for 207. Michael?
All right. So we're starting off with some pretty decent fight art between Luffy and Crocodile. Really liked that. You know, seeing Luffy down, seeing Crocodile, I think Dylan used the word mirthfully laughing, was all very, very intense and well done and very detailed. Love the art through here. And I also, once again, want to point out that the canon is absolutely stealing the show in a lot of these.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that much went into this damn
There's so
thing.
much emphasis on that freaking canon.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to channel a little bit of my Dylan in me.
Oh.
I think I have bits of both of you.
Yes, let your hatred control you.
He's got that Dylan in him.
Yeah, I got that Dylan in me. So, as we know, Zoro collapsed after his last battle with Mr. One. He's still bearing the bloodied chest and everything. He is getting shot. There is an explosion that permeates the end of that shot. And then he falls, landing only on his spine. And, you know, it's like, what the hell is really going on here? At some point, and I think this even kind of brings V's point about the poison into mind. Where are the consequences? Mm-hmm. Why are we putting the effort into these?
Remember all those people were supposed to be dead that aren't?
Yeah. Right.
Maybe that's his trope. You know how like Sanji has his trope of being the flirty guy, the simp, whatever. Usopp's trope is being a pussy, and Zoro's trope is just being freaking invincible.
Having the trope of like, I just don't die is really like kind of lazy and lame, if you ask me.
Now that being said, I do want to give it some, I don't know if credit's the right word, but it's not unheard of in manga and anime for someone to just stand up after the dramatic final blow, the villain has won, then he stands up. But at times in especially this arc here, it feels a little excessive at times. It's like, okay, let's have some consequences. We can solve the consequences in a way that is more palpable.
Well, it's usually crushing medical debt.
Yeah, exactly. But there's that, and then again, I do want to touch on what V said. The poison. It's like, yeah, that poison kind of hurts, doesn't it? But anyway, on to the punching.
So now you got like that slightly irritating rash. That was me.
You will remember me by the rash.
It's like, bro, I got cream for that.
Yeah. Chopper's like, oh, that'll clear up in a day.
Let me get my Benadryl. I got you, fam.
On the top of page 12, I absolutely love that panel of Crocodile with his arms widespread, saying it's over.
It's
with
a good one.
Rubble falling down. It's beautiful. I think it's very well balanced with the dark and the light. It's very attractive. And honestly, the whole page of 12 is beautiful. I mean, you get that, you get the long shot of the city just to kind of just like remind you like it's happening right here, right now. Luffy's down. Cobra is perhaps lamenting what is possibly the end, and Miss All Sunday, Nico Robin is out as well. Remember, and it goes on. I mean, the really good scenes, the kind of just like broad view of the situation continues on to the next page with Tashigi and her troop kind of fighting a very deadly battle. You can see blood splattered, swords clanging. I think it's a really great storytelling for these 2 pages with very little actual dialogue. You get Crocodile, and then you get some kind of flashback dialogue with little spikes coming out of it. And I also wrote, and this is when I read Zoro just smashing into the ground. Nothing saves him. I was like, okay, Dylan, I see you.
Right?
There's nothing there to like soften the fall either. Like
Nothing.
It's straight concrete.
What are you talking about? It's concrete.
And
It's softish.
It's on diamond.
It's like when you hit it, like you turn into Jello, right?
Right. Unless you're Zoro.
This motherfucker's the Wolverine of One Piece.
The bomb stuff is just like, where's the point and how do we get to it? Let's compact this a little bit.
The bomb did
Let's
all the
make
tension building it needed to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everything on top of it just feels
I think
superfluous, I think
they're trying to delay what's going to happen with Pell.
Yeah.
And like I get that because it is a very emotional and like it's a really good moment, but I feel like ultimately it wouldn't have taken anything away from it if it had happened sooner. It was still a meaningful moment.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say.
Sorry.
It would no. I like that you're backing me up here. I needed it. My summary here is one sentence. This was marginally, and I underline marginally, better than the last.
The underline. Getting sassy with it.
I hit it with the underline.
Passive aggressive.
The tension kind of sucked. I mean, maybe it didn't suck as much in the moment, but again, where's the point and how do we get there?
Yeah.
The storytelling here is not blowing me away in any way, shape, or form. But 208 is V.
Yeah. So back to the intro image story. I love the shot of Hachi toppling over the ship. He is a strong boy indeed. Again, we're kind of going back to what we were saying as these past few chapters have kind of come to be. It's good pacing of the story. And maybe that's where what feels like filler with regards to the bomb and Mr. Seven, Miss All Father's Day comes from, is maybe to help the pacing overall. But anyway, I still understand why we might have some criticisms about that. But yeah, still good pacing of the story over the first few pages of the chapter as Vivi sees the timer on the cannonball, overlapping with images of the Straw Hats, the open clock tower, the ongoing battle, and Crocodile's face. Like that 2-page thing over pages 2 and 3 to me felt very cinematic, as if it belonged in a movie. Like I could have seen the cuts to the different areas and it would have been nice. Vivi's frustration and despair are very intense, and it comes across very clearly in the way that she's drawn, especially at the top of page 5 when she's kind of hanging on to the cannonball and saying, "Is there no limit to your evil? Is this all a big joke to you?" Like it's very, very palpable.
Good dialogue, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. It is just good writing. And then, yes, I was noting at the bottom of page 5 that there was a pair of legs there, who we find out are Pel's legs. At the time, I thought it was him because of the stripes on the socks. Wasn't sure, but I had an inkling. And then we move on to page 6, which to me was a really... To me, page 6 was kind of a treat. Every panel was really nice, honestly. Like... We get the top-down perspective adequately at the top of the page. Then the shot from behind Luffy in the middle, super saturated and dark. And then it ends on the close-up of Crocodile and Luffy's faces. Like, it was just a good overall page. And it told a lot without really having much dialogue at all, except for the top of that page. Speaking of close-ups, the middle panel of page 7 is great. Luffy is looking angry with blood spilling down his face. The middle, or the top, rather, or most of page 8, reminds us of Luffy's mission statement, which I feel like we hadn't really we hadn't had that in a while. Him just saying, "I'm going to be the king of the pirates." It's been a little bit since we've seen him say that, and I was like, okay, we're kind of due, actually.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Like, we know, but thanks for reminding us. And to me, it does come at a great moment, considering what comes at the next page. We then get a really fantastic shot of Luffy driving Crocodile's hook into the ground and breaking it at the middle of page 9. Oh, yeah, well, that too. Yeah. But it's a pretty climactic moment, and Luffy drives it home when he confidently states, "I will defeat you." Like... That was good. That was tasty.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I just got him. I was like, yeah. Anyway, we then go back to the clock tower. And as I was saying, I thought I recognized the socks of the person that was standing in the open clock face, and it is indeed Pel that has joined Vivi. We can tell that his presence brings a flashback. I won't get into the finer details of the flashback, but the main thing that I'm taking out of it is Pel's dedication to Vivi, even when she was a child. Obviously, I don't think he should have slapped her, but there's something there's something very raw and sincere about it, and we can tell how deeply he feels that sense of responsibility over her at the middle of page 12, when he looks at her and says, "If anything were to happen to you, my heart would break."
And the way his expression's drawn shows
there's so much sincerity just in the way that the top of his nose is a little crinkled. Like,
I wish I could draw that good, man.
I wish I could do anything that good, to be honest.
Like, right? It's such a...
I wish I had talent.
It's such a throwaway panel. I don't know if throwaway panel is the right word, but
it's very powerful to me. And now, it is the turn. It's the turn for it's the time for my heart to break, is what I was trying to say. And I do want to just state, I'm sorry I ever doubted Pel. Yeah. I have to say, this kind of caught me off guard. It got me fairly emotional and very fast. I feel like every panel that follows these next few pages really kind of stab at my heart. We get a shot focused on Pel's face at the bottom of 14, and his expression makes me melt. Because there's so much affection and so much loyalty in his eyes, but it's also a lot of serenity. He's made up his mind about it. And he's at peace with it. And there's not a bother in his face. Like, it's just whatever he's going to do it. And that will have been the goal of his life mission. Like, that was all that he wanted to do, was protect Vivi, and he is going to do it. He grabs the bomb from the cannon and flies away with it as everyone watches on. The timer on the bomb ticks away. He gains more and more distance, and through that, the tension builds up. At the top of page 17, we see Vivi's hand reaching out to him, with his words overlapping his final journey. He says, "I am the guardian spirit of Alabasta, the falcon." And now we know exactly why this chapter was titled Guardian Spirit. Oda had dropped that piece of information in a previous chapter about the falcon being the guardian spirit of Alabasta, but this makes it very clear. And as the bomb blows up, we get his last promise, his last promise to his cause. The enemies of the royal family shall be destroyed.
But also down with the monarchy?
Also that. But it's like the end of this chapter was beautiful storytelling. Like, magnificent. And I also just want to make a little bit of a comparison, but I don't want to take anything away from Pel's act of sacrifice, as it stands perfectly well on its own. But it was very reminiscent of the situation with Ben Maya. Because to me, that was an example of sacrifice coming from a place of real love. It's not the same type of love exactly, but it was still my life.
It's close.
Yeah, like my life's purpose is to care for you. And I will do that even if it means that I die. And so while the situation and the finer details of the situations were different, I feel like it comes from the same place. So, yeah, that was 208. That was a big one.
Oh, you're just starting to climb the emotional hill.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're getting ready to go over the first drop.
That's really stop. But yeah, so that was 288. Dylan?
Yeah, we got fucking cover panel, Hachi coming in doing his Aquaman thing. And then we get a lot of scenario people realizing that it's a time bomb while a flashback of Crocodile monologuing. It's just like, I like the clock tower, like you see Vivi standing at the edge of the cannon looking in with the line, your idealism makes me want to vomit. It's like, damn, that's pretty heavy. And then we get to see inside the cannon, we get to see that it's rifled. Interesting little detail. And it's just like the look of shock at the bottom of 3. And like you can start to see like the cogs turning of like, oh shit, we are fucked. Of Vivi looking into the cannon as it's going tick, tick, tick. And then Sanji's line, just the crap, it's not fair. It's like, bro, since when has Crocodile fought fair?
Right.
Like,
I didn't think twice about that, but yeah, it's like
Sanji, like you, like
yeah. If this ain't about fairness, honey.
If Usopp had said that line, I'd be like, hey, it's Usopp. But with Sanji, it's like,
that's
Sanji, you went through a scenario where a dude cut off his leg to eat so you could survive, and you want to talk about bitching about shit not being fair. Like, I feel like you should be past that point in your life. You should realize that the life's not fair. I feel like what you've been through, you shouldn't be sitting there and be like, it's not fair.
It's almost just like giving him something to say.
Yeah.
Almost. It didn't really feel thoughtful.
I could have cut that out. It's like, fuck, it's a timer. Shit, what do we do? That would have worked a lot better.
Yeah. Crap alone. Yeah, you know how you love to say crap.
Yeah. That crocodile with his crappy crap bombs.
Crapodile.
Yeah, crapodile. That's what I can now, crapodile. And then, like, do this. Cut Sanji out, have everyone else go. And, like, crap, make it Usopp, these 2 panels with Usopp. Have him say, crap, it's not fair. What do we do now? Was all our sweat and blood for nothing? I feel like that would have hit a lot more than just Sanji being like, it's not fair. And then Vivi kind of, like, slamming her fist, like, fuck, shit.
I wish she said that.
That's just me. Everyone, at this point, the listeners understand that I put words in the characters' mouths that express the emotions that they're expressing in different words. And then the scream. I love the middle panel of 5. The scream into the abyss of Crocodile. It's powerful panel. Again, V said it. The top-down shot in 6. Very cool. And Luffy getting Michael, I imagine you probably like this panel a lot. Because middle of 6, Luffy standing up all bloodied, and then just Crocodile standing there in his regal coat.
With his coat, yeah.
And then, like, the bottom panels for me, it's a Crocodile's like, this little bastard. And then, like, the gritting his teeth is like, fuck, he's gonna come at me again. What the fuck is this dude's deal? And then I'll never lose to a creep like you. That's good. He's monologuing, bragging. So you got nothing left but your bluster. You're finished. And then Luffy coming back with the, I'm going to be king of the pirates. Bringing that back.
That is one of my favorite panels.
Classic.
Talking about something Michael will like. That.
Yeah.
Like, Luffy's looming so large and Crocodile.
That might make it into a live stream panel, to be honest.
Yeah, because Crocodile does look so small from seeing, like, in between Luffy's legs. Yeah.
He very frequently is looming over.
And then fucking Crocodile again, it's like, oh, if you had a deep knowledge of the sea, you wouldn't make such claims. And then, like, middle of the monologue, and Luffy's just like, you know what? Luffy getting a little Bruce Lee with it on top right panel of 9, where he starts cocking the leg up, and he comes in, he sees his opening, smashes the hook.
Bro, when you pointed out those toes, that's all I could see in that panel.
Yeah.
With the line, I will defeat you.
You reach out to hold your lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever's hands, and their foot lands and gently
You think
fits
you're holding
each
someone's
toe
hand in between each, like, finger, and you look at your hand, it's their foot in between each finger. That's what you do, dude.
What's wrong with you?
Fuck, get the gold bond out. You might have athlete's foot. I'm not dealing with this.
I have athlete's hand now.
Now everyone's going to think I'm a dirty bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, I just imagined that, and I wish I didn't. Oh, I wish my brain hadn't committed that to.
Hey, gold bond. I'm telling you, it works miracles.
No.
No. I won't.
No. Okay, let's move on now.
And then Pell shows up, and he's kind of like, he starts reminiscing. It's like, oh, it's like, and then the whole time while he's reminiscing, Vivi's like, Pell, it's like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, I get it, yeah, oh, yeah, better times, yeah. Hey, bomb, there's a bomb about to go off.
That's not how I read it, but I suppose it could be taken that way. I feel like
it's because it's like, this brings back memories, the Sand Band's secret house. It's like, Pell, it's like, I had my hands full with you and your antics back then. Pell, listen. The bomb's on timer's gonna go off, and I said, shut the fuck up and listen.
Well, let me tell you a story about your childhood real quick.
Well, I think maybe it doesn't matter to him because he already knows what he's going to do.
He's already consigned himself to death,
Yeah. Like, and Vivi might be like, holy shit, there might still be a way to get rid of that without someone dying, but Pell is like,
he's
no.
like, oh, no.
I got this.
The flashback sweeps, you see like the smoke pouring out of the building, and it's just a coffin. And Pell comes up, and it's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, what happened? And it's like, oh, I was in the armory fucking around with gunpowder. I wanted to make fireworks to celebrate your anniversary joining the guard. Immediately met with a smack. I don't know, that's kind of weird to touch on. This is one of those things like parents never want to hit their kids. Well, some parents. But it's like in a situation where it's like...
I have no other words.
It's like when you put yourself in that level of danger, it's like...
Yeah, and there's a difference also between, like, and I'm not someone to condone, like...
Yeah, neither. I mean, I was hit, but I was
correcting a child physically. Like, that's not something I think should happen. But I feel like there is a difference between hitting a child out of malice and anger and hitting a child out of, this is the only thing that will make you snap out of it.
It's like, I need to get your attention.
This is the only way that I can
and just show you I'm
teach
serious.
You something. And again,
you're playing with gunpowder.
Like, I still feel like there are better ways to get across to a child, but I don't blame certain people for reaching that point. It happens.
Yeah. I'd say, God forbid I ever have kids, but if I ever had kids and I found one of them playing with one of my guns, which, my fault, I would smack them. I'd be like, you don't, no.
Right.
And then you'd smack yourself a little
dangerous.
bit.
I'd be like, damn. It's like, damn, do I need to call Child Protective Services because I let them play with my guns?
It's not like he hit her because he wanted to. He hit her because that was the only way to get across to her, he thought, in that moment. It was out of concern, not out of violence, you know? Like...
And I like, Cobra sees it. Cobra gets it immediately. Because Ingram immediately is like, oh, dude, I'm about to fucking... One, I'm going to like...
But Cobra's like, let him cook.
You're getting lashed. And then you're getting dishonorably discharged. And Cobra's like, hold the fuck on. He's handling this conversation. I don't want to have this conversation. It's a conversation that needs to be had, but he has it, dude.
Well, and I think it shows that Cobra trusts Pell. Because that's his daughter, right? He wouldn't let someone who he doesn't trust have that teaching moment with his daughter. But he's like, I do trust him, and I know that he knows what's best for the kingdom and for the princess. And
the big thing, like, we talked about all the hitting things, is like, what really portrays that it's like, the whole line, it's a corny-ass line, it's like, this hurts me more than you. You really get that vibe, because, like, the next panel is like, you see him on his knees getting down to her level, and saying, if anything were to happen to you, my heart would break. As he's on the verge of tears. This shit kind of got me. You see Vivi crying in her room with baby Karoo. And then we hear higher, lots higher, and then you see that he's out there taking her on a joyride because he feels bad.
Yeah.
Because like Pell gave off like really like hardcore like doting older brother.
Oh, he's a big suck. Like, he comes across as a little rough and, like, whatever, but
we wouldn't use that word, but maybe Canadians would.
He's a suck in that, like, he's a softie.
We would say softie.
He's a softie, yeah. Yeah.
And then I like the line. It's like, we have to be ready to fight. It's like, but who are you going to fight? It's like, well, we're not trying to fight. We're preparing to defend. What's the difference? The intention, I suppose. That is actually a pretty powerful line. And then Vivi's like, strange. That sits with Vivi. That is something that altered her worldview in that scenario. And then we kind of get to figure out, like, we get to see the intention full blown when he says serving the Nefeltari family has been the greatest honor of my life. It's like, oh, he gonna kill himself. And then we see him fly off with I will say, like, it's beautiful panels of, like, the flying off with the bomb. But the symbolism I really enjoyed was the statue. The Falcon statue starts to tip, crack appears in its neck.
Yeah, and it falls. Yeah.
It hits the ground. Oh. It shatters to pieces. Boom. With the tiny speck of him being separated to atoms in the middle of the explosion. Yeah, that's all I got. That symbolism was heavy as shit. And they did similar things with the Jackal, with Chaka. It wasn't as intense, but the symbolism was there. Anyways.
So, I think the thing I got the most from the opening, the 2 pages where there's just kind of just like a reminder of all the different moving pieces here, all of the contributors. We getting a good bit of that. And I thought in this moment, while it was nicely paced, nicely drawn, I thought the thing I took the most from this was that you get to see the bomb. I didn't really feel like a whole lot was introduced. Page 1, 2, or even really 3, and I think Dylan kind of even took that point home with Sanji. What are you actually saying here?
Just didn't fit his character.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah. That being said, we move on to some glorious Crocodile Luffy stuff. When he breaks that fucking hook, I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. That is an absolute... Like, Crocodile can take punches and hits, but Luffy has effectively disarmed him. We'll see that he throws a knife in that spot. Yeah, I really, really loved that. Going to kind of fast forward here to the end, because that's really the next thing I had anything of substance to say. I mean, what an awesome ending. It was just so... again, when there's a speech bubble with the little lines coming out of that, I don't take that as dialogue or anything. That's like going on in the head. It feels silent to me. The silence is the thing that I get the most out of that, and that these are the words that are ringing in your head. And I just thought it was beautifully done. Just the quiet, the bomb, the flying, the statue tipping over, Vivi's face. Actually, we do get a little sound, and that's the ticking of the bomb, which I think only adds to it. Like, when that's the only sound piercing the silence, you're not really ticking down to the bomb per se, but you're ticking down to the end, and the end is incredible. Vivi's eyes just empty, the bomb going off. I mean, it's a beautiful, dare I say 2-page, because it's really 1 page and a third of some other panels. Yeah, that was beautiful. Loved it. And to kind of overview here, again, not a fan of the bomb plot. I won't dig on that point too much here, because this was an intense and emotional resolution. There are better ways to get here, but I do feel better for having this resolution. It's been the best chapter so far, and the Crocodile and Luffy stuff was very good. And yeah, 209 is Dylan.
Oh, Kalidokali? We had Hachi standing in confused defeat, I guess, or confused victory, as he defeated Popeye, the Fishman, Sailor Man. And we kind of get to see opening panel. We get to see kind of everybody being affected by the shockwave of the bomb. Page 3 is pretty heavy. You got all the straw hats. I mean, besides Usopp being a fucking doof. You know, kind of standing there, and you can't see their facial expressions, but you know they're standing there in shock. And then the silhouette of Vivi at the edge of the clock tower. And just her shocked look and the quiet that has fallen over the whole city. Realization setting in for 4. It's like, oh, dude, he just killed himself. He saved the kingdom. Holy shit. The Civil War, after a brief moment of respite, just kicks back into full swing. And Tashigi's even like, oh, stop fighting. What are you doing? Stop. And then we get to see Vivi at the bottom 6 screaming at the top of her lungs from the clock tower. So everybody stop fighting. Things have gone right, but she's seeing her world crumble around her, is the way I read it. And she's reacting purely emotionally.
Well, she thought that was going to be enough to get people to snap out of it, but it wasn't. So it's like what else is going to work? Like, It's very desperate.
Yeah.
Like,
I like even like the leftmost panel of 7 with Nami, like tears in her eye, biting her lip, being like under her breath, fool. To be like, no, that's like, I think she's saying that to Vivi. You should have known this wouldn't have worked. I'm so sorry. And then Shia immediately switches over to the rest of the Straw Hats. I was like, don't just stand there. Just like start kicking, start punching, fight them to stop them from fighting. Come on, hurry. We have to move it. We have to save as many people as possible. And then we get to cut back into the crocodile fight. And honestly, at this point, seems like Luffy's kind of starting to whoop some ass. For all of his fucking bluster and thinking he won. Takes a hit to the chest, takes a heel to the fucking face, and then gets hammer fisted at the side of the head into the ground. Like, damn. And then Crocodile monologuing to himself. He's like, the scorpion poison should have taken
more
effect.
yapping. Yeah.
Should have taken effect by now. And the line, you insignificant pup, do you realize who I am? And Luffy immediately responding after he ducks the blow. I don't care who you are. I'm going to defeat you. He hits him with an straight up kick. Kicks him like 20 feet in the air. Crocodile uses Sabless Pasado. I forget what that move does.
So, wait, what page again?
12. Sabless Pasado.
So Pasado might mean heavy?
Well, I think at this point, like we've determined at this point he's doing Italian, right? Because he had Desert Spada. Spada is Italian for sword.
Heavy. Yeah, Pasado is heavy in Italian or Portuguese.
I don't know what Sabless is, though. Sand heavy?
Sabless is sand, yeah.
Sand heavy.
Because that's the same as in French. Sable is
sand heavy, yeah, no shit.
No shit. God damn it.
You know what?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
Yeah. And also, based on the area I live in, a little bit of a warning. If you're at the beach, don't dig a deep-ass hole by yourself, and don't be digging holes near the edge of dunes. Especially when you're on the edge of a dune, because we've had like 3 to 4 people die out here because of that. A couple people from holes, another one kid was digging a hole by the edge of the dune. It got deep enough to the point where the dune was like, all right, we're going to shift. And just buried him like 8 feet of sand. Paramedics got there, tried to dig him out. By the time they got to him, it was too late. So don't do that shit. And don't swim in the ocean alone. Anyways, PSA over.
Actually, can I pop back on? I'm sorry, I had a thought. So I saw the funniest sticker one time. It said, do not climb trees next to power lines. And that stuck with me forever, I guess. But is that something that people need to be told?
Well, yeah, yes. Because you think it's like once you get to the higher up part of the tree, it becomes a lot more pliable. And if you're near power lines, your weight could make the tree lean to a certain direction and contact the wires.
I don't know. It made me laugh.
Listen, my assumption is that whatever stupidest thing I can think of, someone out there is going to be even more stupid than that.
Yeah. It's the thing. It's like if it feels like it doesn't need to be explained, explain it.
Explain it.
Yes. But Luffy sucks in a bunch of air and then twists up. I guess the twisting up of it is to make it more forceful when it's expelled.
I think he's like spinning himself to gain like helicopter kind of momentum.
Yeah, that's what I got.
It wasn't
the spinning up is
clear.
more like it's compressing the air more. So when the air is released, it's more forceful. Is the way I thought of it. Because when you're twisting up, it's creating a more confined space for all of this air. And then he lets it out, launches himself up, hits the motherfucker with a gum storm, which he intercepts a Desert Spada with it. Oh God, we'll call it a 2-page spread.
I know, it throws me off.
It's like a page and a half, but it's like this impact is in a full page.
Yeah, well, the thing is, usually when you have a panel like that, like, the one panel is going to be most of the 2-page, and then the rest of it is kind of the reaction to what is happening on the big part of it. So I still count it as one 2-page spread.
Yeah, because a split second happened. It's all on one page. Because it's like you get to see the gum storm, you get to see all the blows flying out, and then the other 2 panels show them landing. With 3 panels, I guess. And then we get another... Crocodile has been launched from this underground tomb, which, again, seemed like it was about 3 to 4 stories deep, to being launched about, well, judge to the base of that spire, probably like 10 stories up. Motherfucker's been, launched 20 stories through bedrock. You ain't Zolo. You cooked. You ain't getting up after that one. And the Straw Hats can, you can't.
You're a lot of things, but you're not Zoro.
Yeah. And then I like the last page, the little panel of just Luffy just like huffing and exertion. Nice. I like that. All the white space just really, I don't know, really draws it out.
It lets the breath breathe.
Linger.
Almost.
Like he's Like, yeah.
As we're reading through, that panel didn't stand out, but the fact that it's got all this background to it, it's like, oh, that's actually like a really, really powerful panel. And I'm glad you decided to highlight that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no SBS, that's all I got.
Alrighty, 209. Intro image story. Hachi beat him up. Woohoo! Again, just noticing that the question mark has suckers on it. It's a little tentacle.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, oh, it's clever. It's clever character design, but also tentacles. I don't know. As you pointed out, we opened the chapter on a few very atmospheric cinematic shots as we're experiencing the fallout of the explosion and kind of the realization that the city was spared due to Pel's sacrifice. This being said, at page 5, the battle picks back up. And I feel like that's kind of... The lingering sentiment is I expected the explosion to snap the people out of it, but it hasn't. I don't know if it's like the adrenaline or like the Baroque Works moles that are getting people to be riled up. Like, I'm not sure why exactly.
I could see it being a combination of both. I didn't really pause on that.
I read it as the way they've shown this whole like rebellion being built up. This is just the anger and tension that has been built up over a decade. Over years.
And
it's at the point where it's like, okay, a bomb went off. Man, I fucking hate these guys. They've been fucking us over this whole time.
If there wasn't so much tension and if it hadn't built up over so many years, maybe they would have paid more attention to the explosion, but they didn't because they just weren't able to. But yeah, unfortunate nonetheless. And yeah, from the top of the clock tower, Vivi desperately screams at the people to stop fighting, and those close-up panels on her face at the bottom of page 6 and 7 are so full of emotion, as Dylan pointed out. Oda really nailed the expression once again. You could remove the dialogue and
still get the idea.
Still feel the emotion that's trying to be conveyed. Like he does really, really well at that. Page 8 then brings us back to the Luffy versus Crocodile battle, and I did want to ask you guys something. How do you guys feel about the back and forth between the different things that are happening at the same time? Do you like it? Would you prefer if it was just like, let's get one part done and then do the other and have the different parts reunite at the end? Because honestly, I was trying to reflect on it and I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, which is kind of why I'm asking.
I don't think I hate it. I think it was decided to do because it's like one of those things was like, okay, all the Vivi clock tower shit happened. All right, now we're going to go back like 10, 15 minutes in time and deal with the Crocodile Luffy shit. And the fact that he does this stuff every week, I think it makes more sense to him as the writer to have all the stuff that's happening at the same time resolve at the same time.
Okay, to kind of keep kind of the string of events fresh in people's minds because we're reading it all at once, but it's being released
week
realistically.
To week, yeah.
Week to week, yeah. Okay. What about you, Michael?
So when you first asked the question, I thought you were talking about the back and forth with Luffy and Crocodile, just specifically the two of them.
No, I meant like the different parts of the story, yeah.
I see what you're getting at. Again, if there wasn't such a epic conclusion to the bomb plot, I would have been just like, next, can we get back to Luffy and Crocodile? But I do feel like there was a payoff there that ultimately felt worth it. And again, leading up to that, I was like, no, please, let's not go back. I don't want to see the bomb plot. And so I don't know how to reconcile my feelings in the moment versus retroactively. But I will say, let me just speak on retroactively, because I guess you kind of know how I feel in the moment at this point. I liked it. I do think that the reader wants a little bit of both if Oda is in fact going to draw this out, because I'm sure I am not I'm sure I don't represent everybody in disliking the bomb plot kind of stuff. I'm sure there are people like on the edge of their seat as, Zoro's half dead throwing Vivi and Chopper up into the air. So I get it. And ultimately I did enjoy it, but it took me some time.
It's not nearly as jarring as like when we're dealing with all the Straw Hats and their separate fights with the Baroque Works agents. Like between one or two scenarios, it works. More than that, it gets a little confusing.
That's totally fair. I mean, regardless, visually, we get some really good panels over the different things that are happening all at once. So, like, in terms of storytelling, it's still impressive. I was just wondering what you guys were thinking. So, mid-page 10, I was kind of happy to see Miss Friday and Mr. 13, the Unluckies, even if they are snitches. I was like, oh, I know these guys. Little cuties are back.
No, not so much the vulture. I'm not crazy about
the otter's cute as hell. But again, if you pull a knife, you get shot.
But he's really cute with his sunglasses. Anyway, he's still cute. Yeah, so I actually, speaking of back and forth, I really liked the back and forth between Crocodile and Luffy at the bottom of page 10 and the top of page 11, where Crocodile says, "You insignificant pup, do you really realize who I am?" Only for Luffy to reply, "I don't care who you are, I'm gonna defeat you." Like, that single-mindedness of his both infuriates me, but once in a while, it's a godsend. And yeah, the last 2 pages are a lot. I won't describe what goes on in every panel, but it's basically the continuation and the build-up of the fight. Luffy launches a Gum Storm over pages 14 and 15, and that meets Crocodile's Desert Spada head-on. So, and we see, as Dylan pointed out, the impact on pages 16 and 17. If I can be fully honest, the pages were very busy. Like, I think I get the point that was trying to be conveyed, but it made it difficult for me to hone on. Like, it was kind of harassing my eyeballs a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially with the onomatopoeia layered on top of it. And then I was just thinking maybe this would have shown better in the anime than it does in drawing/writing. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. This being said, it was very satisfying to see Crocodile be launched in the air in the 2-page spread at the very end of the chapter. Like, that was... And I think actually the very last panel at the bottom of page 20 expresses that. It was like, like, now I can breathe, So, yeah, that's what I have for 209. Didn't have a whole lot, but good few moments. Michael?
So, 209. I thought the silent opening with the bomb going off was kind of awesome. It really lets the moment continue to land, because at the end of last volume, you're like, and then this one, you're like, oh. That was me breathing in and out, if that wasn't clear, listeners.
Human functions. I like it.
Yeah. And then it jumps right back into the chaos, which I thought was an interesting kind of parallel to the way things, like, it's like, oh, it's over. No, it's not. You are mistaken. And then you get Vivi screaming to stop the fighting, and I mean, it just continues that really tense momentum. Again, I think there's been some fumbles as far as tension and momentum are concerned, especially
nothing as egregious as the kick and claw.
Yeah, right. But this all lands. I don't think that I could pick anything out of here that didn't feel good or was good, at least for the first 7 pages. Luffy versus Crocodile. We're back to this. Some great moments here. Some really cool action. Luffy is taking the initiative. He is dodging. He is punching. He is kicking ass. And it's cool. And it's intense. And it's well drawn. And yeah, I wrote this down. And in the moment, I wasn't sure if I really felt this way or if I was just kind of being needlessly critical, because I sometimes I will try to nitpick just because I feel like we could go through this whole thing and praise everything.
We don't need to suck Oda's cock all the time.
Yeah, right, and other podcasts probably have done that. Maybe other podcasts have done what I'm trying to do here too, which is trying to be balanced.
One Piece sucks. I don't know why we're still reading it. This is bullshit. I've been bored the whole time.
I do try to be balanced. I try to see things from a different perspective, and sometimes I wonder if I'm leaning into that other perspective too much. Again, I'm not saying that I'm just making stuff up. I do want to point out that my thoughts are sincere. My thoughts are, I do stand by them. So, I thought Crocodile's final couple panels here, Luffy's finisher, just compared to some other finishers' final moments that we've seen, was a little... It didn't pay off as well as I thought. As menacing and as dangerous and as fucked up as Crocodile has been, all the shit he's put literally everyone through, it felt like he got off a little easy, just as from a visual reader's standpoint. I'm sure he's feeling terrible after those punches.
I feel like there's more payoff in pages 18 and 19 where you see him flying off than there is payoff in the hit itself.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Me personally, I like the hit.
No, and I get it. Like I was saying earlier, to me it was just a lot and a little overwhelming and just visually. And I understand Michael's point of it, does the punishment fit the crime kind of perspective? And I don't know that that's the case. But I think regardless, we can agree that 18 and 19, with seeing him fly away, just did come with a sense of, take that, you motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I want to point back to the final moments of Arlong. When he got a fucking, what was it, sledgehammer? Like Gum sledgehammer kick. That kick went you had a moment to build up the damn kick. And I know we got some build up for this, but it just felt more like breath take away, breath release for...
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. Whereas this felt like, yeah.
I get it.
I like Kung Fu movies, so I'm all about that shit.
Yeah, right. I like one really good hit. I love, when Luffy laid Crocodile out back in the palace, I thought that was a little bit more exciting.
I think I would agree. Yeah. But, I mean, I think at that point it's mostly personal preference.
Yeah, and again, maybe I'm being overly critical, but I stand by it. I do. So, yeah, I mean, he got his ass. He fucking got his ass. I literally wrote, oh, is this happening? Hell yeah. Because on the page with all the punches...
What's happening?
You maybe a reader who's not overly familiar with the story on the panels 16, 17 would be like, oh, he's fucking him up, but wouldn't know that that's it. But I think 18 and 19 really sell the finality of it more so.
Okay, I can agree with that. Where it's like, oh, now he's cooked. He got hit pretty hard, but now he's fucked.
Yeah, he's not just getting clobbered. Now he's being yeeted into the universe.
And then, the little tiny panel in 20, I think, helps highlight that. That was a really good use of a single panel white page.
Because that's all you really needed, Yeah.
To conclude, this was extremely good. Actually, it was amazing. The action lands well, and the chaos of what's going on outside the mausoleum really sells this dire situation. Even though you're kind of getting to the conclusion, there's still a lot of tension to still unwind. I love this. The final punch panel aside, again, I don't want anyone to take away that I didn't like it in any way. It was good, but I've seen better. But yeah, this was awesome. 210 will be V.
Alrighty. Chapter called Zero. Intro image story. It seems that Hachi has found the legendary sauce.
So killing one of his own kind.
Use that. What is it? Was it made of?
Did we get any lead up into this in the last cover panel? I don't remember.
Last cover panel, no, but last volume he did fight this weird octopus looking shit.
Fight that thingy, yeah. Which, you know what that reminds me of, Dylan?
The bad guys in the original Legend of Zelda.
Mini boss from
The mini boss in Jabu Jabu's belly.
Jabu Jabu.
I was thinking like original Legend of Zelda.
We have to run.
The little things that crawl around on the beach and shoot shit at you. Let's give me those vibes too.
In what?
The original Legend of Zelda, when you're on the beach, the little things that scurry around and shoot.
They're Octorks too, I'm pretty sure.
Octoroks, yeah.
It's
That's
just
the name of them.
the one specifically in Jabu Jabu's belly was a big one that you had to...
I recently watched someone fight that boss.
It's so infuriating.
And you know what? It's a piece of shit mini boss. Fuck that thing.
Pretty, I mean,
It's easy once you know what to do, but it's annoying.
Oh, it's super annoying.
Because you have to chase him,
and then he turns around, and then you have...
He's ever so slightly slower than
boomerang.
You have to run for what feels like a whole minute just to get into boomerang range.
It's the worst.
It's not fun.
I'm getting PTSD.
It's not a fun boss.
I'm getting PTSD, guys.
I heard a point that every dungeon after the first 3 in Legend of Zelda is better than those first 3.
Well, the first 3...
I would agree.
The first 3 had to be all right, being a child is the tutorial. We gotta have to hold your hand and baby you.
Okay, no, wait.
Teach you these mechanics that you have to deal with. And then now
I will say, Water Temple fucking sucks just because you have to raise and lower the water levels.
Well, fighting those clams underwater too is a bitch.
Yeah. And the ice cavern is also a bit of of a pain
Ice
in
Cavern
the ass.
sucks.
Yeah.
Ice Cavern sucks. But the first 3, just compared to the rest of the game,
Well, they're shallow.
in the moment as a child, you're like, this is fucking cool.
Shadow
but-
Temple is amazing. I love Shadow Temple.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, maybe we need to do a special edition Pod Fruit Zelda Ocarina of Time.
I
That's
see
what we all
a
just play
Nintendo podcast here, kind of.
We are all millennial nerds. Okay, so getting actually into the chapter, it seems like Luffy's Gum Gum Storm was so strong that it propelled Crocodile far enough for the rest of the crew to see him. He's like that far up that everyone can see.
Isn't that guy?
And they're like, oh, that's Crocodile.
Well, are you sure? I don't see a hook on his hand.
And I want to give a little bit of a shout out to the bottom of page 2 where we see Chopper gnawing at some guy's head and Zoro.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice.
Grasping someone by the chin. Like, that bottom panel of page 2 is
Hashtag wish that
The
was
fact that
me.
Zoro is standing.
Yes. And I will say later on in this volume, I get into Chopper and Zoro's relationship. And I guess...
I don't remember a Zoro Chopper moment, but
there are a few.
Go off, Queen.
There are a few, but we'll get to them when we get to them. But this is kind of the first inkling of seeing them, like, collaborate in that way. But yeah, Chopper... like a little fucking gremlin. A little bit of a comical moment there, and then we get into pages 4 and 5 that are to me quite powerful as we see the wide shots of Crocodile disappearing in the distance, followed by a close-up of his battered face. Vivi's expression of amazement with the overlap of Luffy telling her, then we'll get this crocodile guy, we'll kick his butt.
And the realization that she has to feed him now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if that's what it is, but I
think
like
it's
that.
It's the realization, oh shit, he actually fucking did it. And I love all of the Straw Hats expressions at the top of page 7 as they exclaim, Luffy won! They're so proud and so happy. Like, look at Sanji cheesin'. Like, he's so happy. Oh, I love them. I love them so much. It is kind of bittersweet, though, because as Vivi points out, blood is still being shed and people are still fighting, which is what she'd wanted to prevent in the first place, or at least, and it feels like, I feel like to her, this still feels like somewhat of a defeat, because she hasn't ended the bloodshed yet, which we're going to get into, but the victory isn't as sweet as it could be because of what's still going on. I also just noted... Kind of silly, but that was me kind of being in my emotion. Mid-page 9, there was a bird flying there, and I was low-key wishing for it to be Pell. I was like, it's a bird, but it's not my bird. And yeah, finally, after so much time had passed, after so much pain and hardship for the people of Alabasta, it is raining. Page 10 is beautiful, with Koza's outreached hand feeling the rain fall on it as we're reminded of Toto's words to him. Trust in the king, Koza, it will rain. And
Turns out that's not rain, it's just Pell's blood.
Oh no, don't say that.
Dylan.
No.
They're like, oh, rain.
Why does it taste like iron?
That's giving
Tastes like pennies.
it's giving the blood. It's giving the blood rave scene in Blade.
I've never seen Blade.
What?
I would like to see it. It's a movie that is on my list, but I've never seen it.
We need to watch the Blade movies. But yeah, the first one is very well known for a blood rave scene that's happening. And yeah, over pages 13 and 14, it seems like things are finally calming down. The people quiet down and can hear Vivi's voice. The smoke is clearing, and as rain often does, it washes away what was and prepares the land for what comes next. So we can presume that Crocodile had the rain powder on his person, which is, in him being propelled is what launches the powder. I could be wrong.
That's a theory.
That's what I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. If that were the case, it would make for a pretty good moment in storytelling, like the villain's finally gone, and now because of that, rain has returned. Page 15... Oh, page 15 is really, really good, with Vivi speaking to her people, assuring them that the nightmare is finally over, then followed by the close-up on Crocodile's broken body with blood pouring down his face. Like, I don't know, that was really powerful. And then the chapter ends on Cobra thanking Luffy right before the palace collapses on them. And despite their situation being potentially dire, like obviously they wouldn't let them die like that, but it feels like it could be dire. Luffy's cheerful grin at the middle of page 16 just somehow makes it okay. And yeah, that's our captain. That is our captain.
My captain.
That's what I had for 210. Dylan?
Hachi open image, he murdered one of his people, and then apparently took its brains as a sauce. This guy's a fucking cannibal. I was hyping him up beforehand, and now I'm kind of like, alright, this guy's kind of a menace.
The V180 and the Dylan 180 simultaneously.
Completely opposite.
Hachi out here being like, yes,
for completely different
fish.
reasons.
Dylan's like, fuck that guy.
And God, now opening images, like now we really... Crocodile got fucking launched, dude. Like, I thought I realized what it was last chapter. No.
The After Effects sell it so much more.
It's the opening shot where it's like above the whole cityscape skyline.
He might still be flying to this day.
Honestly, and then no one ever saw from him again. Well, what's that one song? It's like, so afraid to fly that he never did land. Maybe.
That he never what?
That he never did land.
Is that... I feel like that's Oasis.
Yeah. Maybe. That one.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they'll see it. It's like, oh my God, only somebody wears that tacky of a fur coat. It's Crocodile. That's Cruella de Vil looking motherfucker up here. And then we get to see, again, we see the clock tower, and then we get to see that he's well above the height of the clock tower. And the clock tower has been portrayed as the edge of the cityscape. Damn.
Yeah.
And then her seeing it, seeing the flashback of like, will he kick his butt? Vivi being like, oh my God, this motherfucker don't miss. And then I like at the top of 5, like, Luffy, oh shit, I have to feed him. I saw what he did in Whiskey Peak. Oh shit. I thought we saved the kingdom, and now we're all gonna die from famine. That's not the case, but I like to be silly.
I know. I like your headcanon. I like where your head's at.
Well, I like how Cobra's like, does he realize how much bedrock there is to get to the surface?
Yeah.
Cobra? No.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Have you not picked up this yet?
He doesn't know what bedrock is.
He doesn't know what's going on. He's just kicking ass. That's what he does.
I'm not even certain Luffy is aware that he's underground.
He's here to eat meat and kick ass, and he's all out of meat.
Yeah. I like that. That'll make a good sticker.
Again, like V said, like the crew reaction, like top of that top panel of 7, great. And then Vivi just being like, there's still the fighting going in the background. The fact that she's clawing at the ground to the point where her fingers are bleeding with the amount of frustration. It's like, God damn, I did everything. I did everything right. Why has it not stopped? This is a lot. And then she screams again, stop fighting. And then I like, the more of just like the shot of like this motherfucker going to the moon. Turns out Crocodile's like a fucking meme coin, and he's going a meme coin, and Luffy sent him to the moon.
He's going to the moon. Oh, okay.
And then the Straw Hat's gonna rug pull and like rip off like several thousand people. Don't buy meme coins. Hey, listeners,
Don't do it.
Don't buy meme coins because the people who make it are trying to steal your money.
If I may, there's currently a meme coin scandal going on with the Hawk Tua girl.
Hawk girl, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anytime someone who has influence is like, hey, I can make more money, they're going to make more money at your expense. Don't do it. I get it. Bitcoin? Maybe. I get it. I'm scared of cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin just hit 100,000.
Yeah. A lot of people are like hypothesizing that it's like once it hits that threshold, everyone's going to start selling it, and it's going to drop super hard. I would. If I had some Bitcoin, I got up to 100,000, I'm like, oh, I'm gone. I would have gotten to 50, and I would have been out. Shit, I would have gotten to 10. I was like, nope, that's enough money for, like, to change my life. But then, like, I was talking about it earlier, but page 9 even just, like, fucking grinds it home. Because what I'm seeing on page 9, this is Crocodile's perspective. Whereas, like, he's getting launched, he's like, damn, the city, like, I can't, like, he's reached the apex, he's like, damn, it's just clouds. Wait, there's a speck. Oh shit, it's a mountain. Oh shit, oh shit. As he starts fucking falling back down towards the ground. And then Koza feeling the rain. The rain is the symbolic. The symbolism. Symbolism's been very heavy in this volume so far. The rain starts falling, being more like it's over. It's finally over. And of course, it's the rain coming back to the land is what finally stops the fighting. And then we get to see on 11, bottom 11, we get to see Crocodile hit the ground. Top of 12, we get to see Luffy hit the ground. Like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Cobra out here being like, you boy! And it's like, all right. And he just saved your kingdom. Like, maybe have a little more grace to it. And then now that the rain started, everybody's calmed down. Now they can actually hear Vivi talking. And they're all starting to realize, like, it's Princess Vivi. I didn't think she was here. And then everybody's like, Sir Crocodile, what happened to him? I love how Usopp's like, Sir Crocodile, do you know what that motherfucker did to this kingdom? And Sanji's just like, hold the fuck up. Calm down. But no, I get it, Usopp. No, let him know. Let him know. This dude was a piece of shit. You worship this dude. He fucked you over. Dum-dums. That nightmare is finally over. Middle of 15. Just the crocodile fucked up. Great panels. And the cover been like, you have my thanks, the shit-eating green. Vivi, you talked about it. It's like, it was nothing. And then we see everything collapse. That's the end of the chapter. Like, I liked it. That's a good resolution of the crocodile fight. Love that. Michael?
These are going to be one of my shortest note chapters yet. I opened it up with saying, let's fucking go. Because in that moment, you know, we're no longer climaxing. We've come and we're going.
We've come? This is now the beginning of our refractory period?
Yes, and we love the refractory period. We're sitting there thinking about everything that we want to do and we can do because our mind's no longer clouded.
I don't get a refractory period.
Shut up. I will go ahead and turn my attention to the top of page 7. The Luffy 1 panel. Again, all I can say is let's fucking go.
Yeah.
On my first read through, I thought the rain was kind of corny and a little too convenient, but on my second read through, I was like, actually, no. That's nitpicky and lame and boring and stupid. The rain is awesome. The rain signifies the washing away and the birth anew. I was totally out of touch with my first comment. Let's go. The rain is a nice touch. And then page 15. The nightmare is finally over with Crocodile's fucking bloodied body there at the bottom.
So good.
It was amazing.
With his, like, the eyes rolled back and, yeah, just so good.
He's out. He's out cold. We've never seen him out cold. There it is.
K.O.'d.
K.O. And, yeah, Luffy just kind of shrugging it off, but not really shrugging it off. He's kind of loopy, I think. And to summarize, that was a good way to end this. Otherwise, very... What did I write here? I wrote uneventful, which it is. It's just kind of letting everything sit. It's not introducing anything new. That's not a negative criticism.
Right, yeah. It's the end of... It's the continuation of the things that just occurred. Like, nothing new.
It's letting it breathe
Yeah.
here. It's letting you savor your victory. It wasn't eventful, but that's okay. This chapter needed to happen. You needed to have the rain fall. You needed to let yourself be cleansed. And I loved the way this whole thing was wrapped up here. And I will continue to love the way the rest of these chapters wrap. Chapter 211 is Dylan.
All right. So, we see Hachi on his fucking Sanji arc. It's like, no, I have all this stuff now. Now she'll love me. And then we open up. Vivi has finally got the crowd's attention. And the crowd's like, hold the fuck on. You can't just erase all these sins. They destroyed this town. Even the Royal Army shot Koza. And then Chaka comes out and tells everybody, like, tells the Royal Army, it's like, throw down your weapons. We're done. And then we get you, ahum, me. Which he was teased a long time ago. And now we finally... I expected him to do more, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the Igram's comeback, it's almost, to me, it's like, you could have just left him dead. Honestly.
It felt like it could have been more. I just barely like what he contributes going forward, but it doesn't feel significant in any way.
I like that he's alive, because I feel like he was important to Vivi.
But he didn't do anything for the conflict.
What does he bring in a concrete way? Not much, but I don't know.
It could have very easily been like Chaka being like, Royal Army, throw down your arms. Here's this child who's going to show everything that happened. But it's like, I think Chaka could have taken all Lord Igram's parts. Like, Igram could have stayed dead and Chaka could have been like, throw down your arms. Here, this child, he witnessed everything. It was just an imposter. Like, it didn't need to be Igram to do that.
Didn't.
I mean, later on, we see more of, like, the slice of life shit with Igram in the castle. Okay, but still at the same time, it's like he didn't partake in any of the fighting. Like, I expected him to actually become an active combatant.
Yeah, when he showed up, it felt big.
Yeah, and it turned out not to be, I feel like. And, you know, that's just me. Like, I was always like, it's that weird guy from Whiskey Pete. But then the kid lets him know, it's like, no, that wasn't him. It was an imposter. I saw everything. It's all Baroque works. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And Koza listens to all of it, and he's like, all right, throw down your weapons. We're done. And, like, Vivi rushes down the clock tower, and I like how she's immediately, like, in the middle of 7, you get to see it. You guys, where are you? She's concerned. Like, she's like, all right, there's a tepid peace. Where are the Straw Hats? Where are my friends? Where are my friends? I think that says a lot. And I like the bottom panel of, come on, get up and talk, or get up and walk. I can't. I have, if I take another step, I'll die disease. Usopp, you're a pussy.
Then stay there.
Yeah, all right, then die. And then we get I like all of 8, which they're just strolling through the streets and they bump into him like, oh, hey, there he is. Kind of like, yeah, we knew he was going to show up.
I like that a lot, too.
Yeah.
It just shows the confidence the Straw Hats have in their captain.
There he is, yeah.
Give me that.
Give me that.
We'll take that from you.
I say you're going to kill the president of the United States. I like how Cobra's like, who the fuck are you guys? And so it's just like, well, that guy on your back, he's kind of our friend. We got it. Give me him.
Yeah. Give me that.
Gibby. And Cobra's like, oh, then you must be the pirates who brought Vivi back. And then Vivi shows up. It's like, Papa? The top panel of 10 is pretty strong. I was prepared to die, but this young man saved me. As Luffy's out here honking some shoes. And then we do get some some explanation. It's like, okay, he carried Cobra and Nico Robin out. And then Usopp apparently knows somehow that he was poisoned. And was like, oh, is the poison out of his system yet?
Yeah.
That was
I didn't
weird.
think about that.
I'm guessing it was
that
like,
is a little.
It's probably an off scene. It was like, oh yeah, he got poisoned, but he probably explained the entire fight off scene.
Like, there's certain things he adds in, there's certain things he doesn't put in. It's like, okay.
And Cobra's like, yeah, he needs medical attention. Actually, now that we're on the subject, you all do. Y'all look like you've been through the ringer.
Points to Zoro. What's up with that?
There's something weird about this guy. What's going on here? Am I right?
He doesn't have a torso and his spine is broken?
But then again, he's curling a camel. What's going on here? But then I like how Zolo's like, yeah, never mind that, Vivi. You need to go address your people. And everyone's like, actually, the rebellion's over. Like, this is the time to make an address. And then Sanji kind of being smart. She's like, Vivi's like, I'm going to tell everyone what you did. Sanji's like, oh, don't do that. We're criminals.
Remember
we're
the part
homies,
where we're pirates?
But we're criminals.
Yeah.
And then Chopper.
Remember the part where we're wanted?
And then Chopper taking Luffy's line, I'm hungry. Now I'm being like, yeah, we're tired. Like, we'll go ahead to the palace. You do what you have to do. We're tired.
Yeah, we gotta sleep.
And then Sanji, as she's walking away, just passes out. And they all do. Hilarious. Then we get to see Tashigi arrest Crocodile. And the line, Navy, bottom of 13. Navy headquarters under direct authorization from the world government revokes your license to seize enemy ships and strips you of all rank and authority forever. Hell yeah. Go off, Tashigi. And then I love seeing, the rain, 14 is an Adorbs moment. You just get to see Crew sitting on his little carpet looking up at the rain. You get to see the rest of the squad just, hanging out while the one guy's sipping on his Hennessy. And then we get to see the dipshit trio. I'm sorry, the whole devil fruit to a gun is still not as mad about that as it was about the kick and claw force, but I'm damn near close. But I do like that, how it kind of is don't, showing all the defeat, shows everything they had to go through to get to this final goal. And then we get to see Bon Clay kind of stumble away, and then Eyelash is sneaking around for some reason.
Eyelashes.
If they find out I'm a camel, I'm cooked.
This whole speech, I'm not going to go super into detail on this whole speech, but it's powerful. Because it's hey, we've made mistakes, we've suffered losses, but we can't change the past. The only thing we can do is move forward and strive to be better. Good king. Cobra is a very, very good king. The long live Alabasta fucking panel. That's good. I like that one a lot. And then getting to see everyone's kind of emotional reactions to everything. The little sliver panel, along with those battles never mentioned in the pages of histories, finally came to an end. Yeah. That's the Straw Hats all passed out in an alley.
No sleeping.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very good way to end a chapter. But damn, that might have been a good volume ender too.
Yes, that could have been a good end. I'm not angry with where they decided to end the volume, because the volume ends in a magnificent way. But that was also a good sense of finality, especially with the Long Live Alabasta.
I could see it end the volume here and then have the post-battle celebration as a small separate volume, but I understand the pacing of it, so that's all I got.
Alrighty, 211. When I was first reading the chapter, I was wondering why are they so angry still? And then my mind went to, I guess I get it, because Mr. 2 was impersonating the king, so I understand why they're still distrustful of him. And they, like, I don't know that everyone involved in the conflict knows what we now know. Like, how aware are they that they were actually being duped by a Baroque Works agent that was impersonating the king? Like, I don't know how much everyone else knows. I mean, it was fairly obvious to me that it wasn't actually the king, but again, maybe not everyone knows, or maybe they're not super perceptive, or I don't know what's going on, but kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt as to why haven't you figured that out yet? At page 3, we see Chaka's return, only to be followed by Igaram. I am happy to see Igaram back. I understand what Dylan was saying about it maybe not being super impactful, but I was just happy to see him re-enter the chat with a me at the bottom of page 3. And then we see the whole body shot at the top of page 4 where he's holding a child in his arms, which happens to be the little boy that witnessed what happened in Nanohana. The one kid that was like, oh shit, we're actually being duped, that was thinking all of these things in his head but wasn't able to say them out loud. And then finally the kid drops the bomb mid-page 5 that yes, it was imposters and they fucking goofed. I kind of love the expression on his face mid-page 5. Like, he looks exhausted from what he lived through, but he also looks ready and determined to share his message. I don't know. I thought that was
Let's go, kid.
Yeah. I was rooting for him. So I was happy that he finally got his moment in the spotlight, so to speak. Really nice panel of Koza sitting up at the top of page 6, and finally everyone drops their weapons. I kind of like Dylan was talking about earlier, the Straw Hats just make me so happy. Even just the dialogue at the bottom of page 7 is funny, with someone arguing with Usopp because he suffers from the if I take another step I'll die disease. And yeah, followed by a couple of beautiful panels at page 8 with the Straw Hats at the top. Zoro dragging Usopp behind him because, hey, he won't abandon him, but he won't be nice about it. And Cobra holding Luffy on his back at the bottom. I like that page. I like page 8. And I guess I had never really figured out that most of the Straw Hats had not met Cobra yet. And that was kind of made obvious at the middle of the middle and the bottom of page 9, where they're like, oh, hey, you're, like, who are you? Oh, right, you're Vivi's father. Oh, so you're the king. Oh, gotcha. Like, they're finally putting the pieces together, whereas we've known for a while, but they never really got that meeting yet. So I think that was kind of neat. And yeah, all of our friends are going to take a nap in the rain. It cannot be the most comfortable, but hey, they are exhausted and I get it. I did chuckle at Sanji's dialogue at the top of page 11 when he says that Vivi can't publicly praise them because in his words they're notorious pirates and can't get mixed up in politics. She can't praise
adults.
them. Which, fair point. I understand why Vivi wanted to do it, but I understand why they don't want the public recognition. Top panel of page 12, where we see everyone slumping to rest, and I see Captain Smoker. What does that imply? Well, because Tashiki's there, but I
think she's on a transponder snail with them, is how I read it.
Yeah, with the little panel, or the little, border around it, implies some kind of, alternative communication.
So I guess what I'm wondering is, what are they talking about? Are they talking about the fact that they're actually not going to go ahead and arrest the Straw Hats?
I think it's more like...
It does leave a little bit up to
because it's overlapped with them sleeping in the street, right? So I don't know what she's saying.
I think it's giving you just a little peek that the Navy's about to get involved here. That's my interpretation.
Okay.
Because before Smoker's like, I'm going to assemble the Armada, handle shit here. And we do get to see that later. I think he's
just letting her know what's happening, what's about to happen, and she can make her own...
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering what was going on there. Page 13, another really good one. Tashigi basically sentencing Crocodile, outlining what they found and saying that the Navy, under authorization from the world government, are revoking his license and strip him from his rank and authority forever. I mean, he needs to go to fucking court. He needs to be sat in front of a jury and convicted of something. Or
you could take him around back, give him one of the... No, I'm just kidding. Good old.
I'm not sure how martial court works in that universe, because it would be under martial law, I imagine, since he was one of the warlords of the sea and technically under the government.
Well, it's like, yeah, you're technically military, so if they did decide to execute you, like,
yeah.
Goodbye.
Anyway, maybe more to come as far as that's concerned. Really, really nice panels, Dylan pointed out, over pages 14 and 15, as we see where all the other former opponents and allies are at in this moment. I also had a special shout out to the Supersonic Duck Squadron mid-page 14 and Eyelashes at the bottom of page 15. I was happy to see them again. Cobra gives us his speech over pages 16 and 17. And honestly, I just want to echo Chaka's words at the bottom of page 17. I am not worthy. Yeah. He goes hard in his speech. Those lines mid-page 17 are so powerful when he says, "No one can undo the past. Now we must overcome this war's tragedies and live." It's true, because all you can do really is acknowledge what happened, learn from it. You can
try to kill everyone who's against you, but
really,
it's impractical.
It's about learning from your mistakes and trying to do better. And I appreciate that humility. Clap, clap, clap. The final 2 pages of the chapter also were very inspiring. It's kind of humbling and emotional to see the crowd as we see the words "Long Live Alabasta" written over it. These people have gone through so much turmoil over the last few years. They fought for what they believed in, and now they can start healing. Now they can start to grow. And I feel like it comes with a sense of relief that I don't know that many of us can actually imagine. The close-ups on Koza, the people, and Vivi are beautiful, and then we read the words, "The Battle of Alabasta's devastating civil war, along with those battles never mentioned in the pages of history, finally came to an end." Just
yippee!
Great. Just so good. And then, yeah, as Dylan pointed out, chapter ends in the shot of our heroes sleeping in the rain, which was honestly kind of adorable. They're like, I need a nap. You do whatever you need to do. I need a nap. M-E-P. And big E-P. But yeah, that's what I have for 211. Mikhail?
Right on. All right. So, Egram is fully back on page 3, but I would have loved to have seen him kind of make a bigger splash in all of this. We've kind of touched on that. Page 8 was really touched a chord on me. I don't know, it just felt good. But they're slowly approaching, and they see that their captain is being returned to them, and Cobra has no idea who these fools are, but he is happy to pass them on, and it all feels so genuine, and the reunion feels so good, and it feels so deserved, and it's really done very well. I loved every bit of this little, perhaps inconsequential scene for a lot of people, but it felt big to me. I especially liked Sanji's little panel. He's like, that guy on your back, he's our friend.
He's mine. I'll take him.
Thanks. And yeah, the recognition as they just eventually pass out. Vivi kind of shows up for a little couple sentences here. It was just great. I especially liked Tashigi arresting Crocodile.
Yeah.
Like, that's a full-on arrest happening there. Motherfucker's about to get court-martialed and
she
all that.
She has no chill about it. She's like, "You are here by sentence, buddy."
Yeah. She's like, "Okay, I didn't have a whole lot of control before, but I got this. And I'm going to do the best with it. I'm going to make you pay." I loved it. And I was wondering if he was awake to hear all that. Because it feels like...
Yeah, I don't know how aware he actually was. Was he read
13,
his Miranda rights?
I don't think they give a shit about that. We've seen some really bad Navy people. I don't know how much they actually care about the rule of law to their own individual means, but Tashigi probably does. 14 and 15 was a nice little wrap-up, just reminding you of everything you've gone through to get here. The Super Duck Squadron, the members of Baroque Works, and then especially Mr. 2 kind of sneaking off in the moment. Mm-hmm. That was excellent. That was an excellent way to bring all of the stakes back forefront, or stakes, maybe the past stakes, and just let you know how we got here. And then, yeah, I loved Cobra's final little moment here. He's letting everyone know that we will get through this. It's very inspiring. I think it's very well done. I think the final 2 pages just really exude reconciliation, and finality. And I loved it. Overall, One Piece really knows how to stick the landing.
It does.
I think that, like, if we're speaking from gymnastic terms, they're running, they do their jump, and they're doing all these crazy flips in the air. Maybe they miss on some motions along the way.
But the landing?
The landing was a 10 out of 10.
What is like the beam they do? Yeah, it's like might have slipped up on the beam a little bit, but your dismount.
Sheesh. Yeah, and I think that's more important than any of the negative stuff I could say along the way. I love the destination. The journey had moments that were great, and then some moments that fell flat. More so great than flat, but Luffy's smile.
I was gonna say Oda could like have a TED talk about world building.
Yeah. Oh, we barely even scratched on that. But it's some of the best. I loved all of this chapter, and it made me so happy in such a strong way. But that's all I have for 211.
Happy.
And that will wrap up part 1 of our discussion of episode 23. We decided to split this episode up into 2 parts. We had a lot to say, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening.